Let me start with the topic what we are going to cover. And this particular topic, it's continuation of very basic concepts of performance tunings in Oracle database. Okay, so we are going to focus mainly two things right now in next 30 minutes. And the very first one is information related to Oracle database statistic. And second point is uses of index related to Oracle database performance. And the very first thing we used to confuse when we are starting our career as an Oracle database. And the very basic question is, we used to get something related to statistic. And if as a layman, if I'll try to understand statistic, n number of pictures are coming in my mind. Now, what exactly this statistic? Yes, the literal meaning of statistic is exact same. It's information related to specific topic, specific area, specific subject, specific country, like that. But here, what we are going to focus on, the statistic in Oracle database means the information about database related component focused mainly on tables and indexes. And what exactly tables and indexes statistic means? Number of records in a table, number of columns in a table, the number of character we have defined in a column, as a whole size of the specific rows, as a whole, how many number of records we have deleted, how many records we have updated, on and on and on. If somebody wants to keep all these last 30 seconds, whatever I mentioned, in a separate tables or the system tables, that information we are referring here as a statistic. Now, what is important? Why we are talking about this topic, statistic in Oracle database? So in simple, very simple way, as a maybe 0 to 2 years of experience, DBA we are starting. So very first thing we need to understand, to run the query, to execute the query, optimizer need some basic statistic related to tables or indexes. Information what I already referred, mentioned, number of columns, rows, values, updated record, deleted record, everything. And the optimizer used to take those information to define or to create execution plan to give the outcome of a specific queries depending on n number of tables, or maybe in the based on single tables. So this is very vital if we want to get queries output very fast. We need to have the updated statistic related to that tables or indexes in the specific query. Now, how it is important? Why optimizer is looking for those information to create good plan, so that as a whole, the resource to execute those query is going to take optimum or very less resource. What we are referring here? CPU, memory use, how long it will take. Okay, so major this three component to start with. And optimum is if we will take all these three very less and give the output nothing like it. And to do so, Oracle optimizers need the statistic. As a layman, again, you might be confusing. So let me give you one very basic example. Suppose right now I'm in Kolkata. Okay. And I want to travel to Bangalore. Again, to travel to Bangalore, we are having 3-4 different options. By flight, by train, by road, maybe by bike, maybe different mode altogether. Up to certain stay, maybe flight, then train, then car. Okay, now on what basis I am going to make a plan? Should I go for flight throughout, train, bike, car? It's totally dependent on how urgently I want to finish the specific task assigned to me over in Bangalore. If it is very urgent, if we will fail to execute the task in a day, there is huge loss going to be there for our organization. Definitely, we are not bothering about saving few thousand. Priority is to execute that task as soon as possible, come what may. Definitely, I will go for flight. If it's not that urgent, we can go for second or third option, maybe train, maybe car. But all these three options, until and unless I'll not know, and some emergencies there I don't know, flight is one option to do the task. What will happen? Big loss. So same way to finish one task, different options are available. Based on all the scenario, which one is the optimum? We have to choose that. So same way, when optimizer is executing a query, it is looking for all those information. Maybe right now, 40,000 records are there in a table. And statistic is available into the data dictionary for only 40,000 records. So when we are running a query based on this 40K records, optimizer will plan based on that records data available in the data dictionary. But suddenly the tables record 40K is up to date into the data dictionary. That means the stats gather job has just finished running a couple of minutes back. So all the status related to that 40K is available into the data dictionary, and when we are running the query, optimizer is going to take that stats, and based on that, it will create good plan, the best plan. But suddenly after this, if due to whatever bulk data load, now after 1 hour we are having 1.4 lakhs record. But in the statistic, only 40K records stats available. And now if we will run the query, the plan what we are going to get based on that 40K only, because rest 1 lakh record getting updated, that stats is not available. And there are high chance Oracle ended with giving not that good plan. Resultant, it is going to take much more time than our expectation. Now, how Oracle, or how some problem is there, as a DBA, what is the way to find out whether we need to execute the statistic or not? Whether statistic should be executed or the gather stats, whatever the package is there, which will be updating the statistic in the data dictionary. Very tough for us as the DBA to find out which or how many number of new record is going to be inserted into the table, so that we are going to run statistic once again, whether it is 10,000 extra, 20,000 extra, 40,000 extra, or 1 lakh. So if we are finding any issues getting the outcome of a specific query, very first thing what we used to do to check the database server health by top command. Second, we used to check what? Alert log file. If you are getting some error, well and good. Otherwise, if you are not getting anything, then what you will do? If related to a specific query outcome you are not getting. So next option, you can check the statistic of objects, that is mainly tables, there in a query. And what exactly stats means? Whether the stats status is what? Stale, yes or no. Yes, this is very first time I'm using. Stale is a column in a specific table. To check, I'm going to show you in practical. If stale is yes, means Oracle is saying statistic for optimizer for the specific tables are not up to the mark. You have to gather the statistic. So once you will gather the statistic, the dictionary related to that is up to the mark, stale status will be flagged as no. So if it is yes, we have to gather the statistic. If it is no, we are good. We can find out some other options to do the tuning for the specific query. Okay, now let's see what exactly. So what I'm doing, I'm creating one table, and under that table, first I'm going to just put some records, and after that, I'll gather the statistic. I'll show you what is the status, and again, I'll keep inserting some record, and I'll check whether the status is getting changed or not. If it is getting yes, that means you need to gather the statistic. Again, we will gather the statistic. We will see the status will be changed. Okay, so for that, I have one sample this thing. So table, what I'm going to use is ISM admin.sha. So it's already there. I'm going to I'm just dropping it. Yeah. Now I'm going to simple create. Okay, I'm sharing my screen, and under that screen, okay, so clear screen. Here I'm just going to create one table. Under that, we will be putting some records. Then I'll gather the stats and I'll check the status. Let's start. So I'm going to create a table. I just created one table. Under that, I'm going to put some record on the random basis. So I'm using this particular query. Insert into this. Label one is one number will come along with name, and label means one name, two, like that 20 record will be inserted. I'm giving commit, and if I'll give select from next from SH. See, and here if I'll check, and before that I'm going to run the statistic. Execute. Here there is a typo. I'm going to give here comma. Now I'm going to put this, gathering the statistic. It's done, and I'm going to check what exactly the stale status. As I mentioned, if it required statistic, it will say yes, otherwise it will say no. So what it is showing, table name is SHA, okay, and stale stat is what? That's no. So status is not required. Now what I'm doing, I'm keep inserting the record, and after that again I'll check. So if we are running the query, I don't know basically after maybe another 200 record or 2000 record or 20 record, it's totally depending on n number of factors. I'm not going to discuss in detail, but Oracle will decide when it's needed to gather the statistic. Okay, so this particular, I'm going to put this insert statement 20 more, 20 more, 20, 20. Okay. So I'm just keep giving this. And after that, I'm just giving commit statement. And again, I'll check whether stats is stale or not. And here, same statement, and it's stale, yes. If it is stale, we have to gather the statistic again. So same thing I'm doing in this one. Paste. And again, I'll check. It's no. So it's very important if we are facing any challenges in running the query. One of the main thing we have to check the stats. And if you are not sure how many number of tables, because it's very tough for us to go and check out all the, so a couple of ways are there. You can check all the status stale, if yes, well and good. Otherwise, you'll be just doing SQL statement tuning advisor. There also it will give whatever suggestion that okay, this stats is not up to the mark. You have to run the stats gather stat procedure to get the proper stats. Okay, so this is one. Apart from that, the index monitoring part. Let me give the idea in which situation we are going to use index. What happened whenever we find any issues related to the query? One of the way we used to fix by creating the index. But sometimes what happened due to n number of reasons, those queries are not being used, which is using that index. For that, once upon a time, we have created index. And likewise, we might be having n number of indexes there in our database for years after years, but we are not using it. Maybe a couple of years back, we have used due to some specific cases. How to find out which indexes are being used, which indexes are not being used. Okay, so for that, there's a feature in Oracle. Right now, we are going to discuss this thing in Oracle 19, but that will be showing whether index are being used or not used. So very first thing, let me open one document. Okay, so I'm going to create just simple basic tables, creating indexes. Then I'll do index monitoring. Options is there. I'll show you right now. I'll make it on, and after that, I'll use the index by using specific query. And again, I'll check whether index is being used or not. And on that way, you will be able to find out whether we monitor that, monitoring on the specific indexes, what you used to think that it's might be not in use for a long time. And if it is not in use, you can easily drop off, means drop the specific index to save a lot of resources, mainly the disk space. Okay, so I'm sharing the screen. And this is the document. So already everything is there. I'm simply going to use this. Let me do a little skipping time. I'm just copying pasting here. Okay, so EMP table got created. After that, we are giving some insert statement. One. Second one. And the last one, just 3 records. I'm just. And after that, I'm giving commit. So 3 records are there. And next step, we will be seeing all the records in the specific table. We will be getting, yes, 3 records are there. Then we are creating index. Okay, so we are creating index under, so index name we have given EMP ID on the specific. Okay, next. I'm just giving, now we are giving alter index. So alter index monitoring uses, and if we will check now whether index is being used or not, then what is the status? Monitoring status. So what it is showing? Monitoring, start monitoring, yes. let me fix this thing so that we can and I'm giving here all column yeah. So users is saying no. We can just make it on for maybe a day, 2 day, 10 days, like that. Okay. And if somebody, end user, is going to use this, how? Let me use it now. I'm using, so index is being used. And now, same command I'm going to use to check users. Okay. And see, it should be showing yes. See, users, yes. So if we'll be getting that, okay, this indexes are being used, we can just keep it. Otherwise, we are going to drop this thing. Now, you may have question like, okay, how many number of times this index is being used? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. You can just Google it and you'll be getting the answer. Okay. So hope this very basic, very important thing. It gave little idea about users of indexes and the stats gathering part. By default, Oracle have the feature midnight. It is gathering stats for the details. But we can control, we can just disable it whenever we need. We can just gather the statistics for the specific tables or maybe specific schemas. Okay, so that's pretty much for now from my side, and hope it gave you all little insight. Thank you.